Good evening, friends. Thank you for joining me every evening to follow what's happening in India and abroad. And thank you for sending me your useful comments and suggestions. If you believe in this channel, do share it with your friends and spread the message. Our only mission is to bring you the truth and both sides of the story. Thank you for your support. Today we have Saffron Tiger back with us. Welcome, Saffron.
Thank you, Meena ji. Like every other time, it's a pleasure to always share screen with you and have a candid conversation. And I'm looking forward to yet another candid conversation.
Yes, thank you so much, Saffron. So today, friends, what we had decided was that we look into the mysterious death of actor Kunal Singh, who was only 31 when he died. And it's not only him. In fact, so many people have died in not only in Bollywood but also in the modeling field, the television field. People like model Nafisa Joseph, Wrinkle Chowdhury, Archana Pandey, Viveka Babaji, Divya Bharati. So many people have died, and they've all said that it's because of suicide. Either hanging or taking their lives. So today we are looking at the death of an actor who was only 31 and who was becoming quite a hit after his film with Sonali Bendre in Dil Hi Dil Mein. It said that he committed suicide in his rented apartment in Mumbai. So before Tiger takes over, I'll just give you a little brief so that we know exactly what happened to this guy. The actor was seen hanging by, when he was this actor was working in South Films and was seen opposite, as I said, Sonali Bendre. The actor was seen hanging by the ceiling fan of his apartment by actress Lavina Bhatia, who then called the police. The father of the 31-year-old struggling actor, Kunal Singh's father, said that it was not suicide. He said that though it looked like a suicide in the Oshiwara home, he alleged that his son was murdered. Kunal was found hanging in his rented apartment in the posh Lokhandwala complex, and the Oshiwara police probing the case stated that he had allegedly hanged himself. His friend and co-star in the upcoming film, Lavina Bhatia, was in the house when the incident happened. Speaking to the media, Kunal's father, Rajendra Singh, who was 58 years old then, alleged that when he claimed his son's body from the hospital, he found several injury marks on his arm and chest, suggesting that someone had strangled him, and later hanged the body from the ceiling to make it look like suicide. I questioned the police about the marks. However, they said the marks were caused while they were taking down Kunal's body from his flat, said Singh. Singh also alleged that the land mafia was behind the killing of his son. Kunal was negotiating a land deal in Karjat, which might be a reason behind his murder, the father said. Kunal's friend and co-star Lavina Bhatia, who was there in the house during the incident, told the police that she was in the bathroom when Kunal hanged himself. Singh, however, said he was not willing to accept her statement. She's definitely a witness to the crime, but she's scared and hiding the facts. I think she has been threatened, the father said. Singh added that now, before Kunal's death, he has sent a text message to music director Dabu Malik, asking whether he could hear the tunes for the film that the actor was producing. How can he instantly decide to kill himself if only an hour ago he had decided to go near the tunes? Said Singh, to hear the tunes. Senior police officer of Oshiwara Police, Kiran Sonone, said, "We have asked Singh to get a written complaint and we are probing the matter on our part." Kunal had come down to the city in 2003 to make it big in Bollywood. He had recently started working on the production of his upcoming film Yogi, in which he was also the lead actor. He had acted in several South Indian films. While the police were considering that Kunal's proximity with Bhatia might have led to some troubles, driving him to take such a drastic step, his father said Kunal was happy with his wife Anuradha and his two daughters. Rumors about his relationship with Lavina are false. So, why does this Saffron Tiger remind you of the case of Jia Khan and Sushant Singh Rajput, where we know that these two bodies were hung up after they were killed? So it's very reminiscent of these cases, and there are so many cases in Mumbai that are hidden as suicides, and the police are, hand in glove with the criminals.
Absolutely, Meenaji. You are right on the money when you said that there are striking similarities between this case and several other cases, some of which even we are not aware of just because of the sheer fact that these people were not famous celebrities. I mean,
Yeah.
this cabal has spread its tentacles so deep Now you can see just the news that you read over right now. It shows certain things, like there was a possibility of land. There was some land dispute which was a possibility of the murder. Okay, that land dispute was related to some property in Karjat. That
Yeah.
rings a bell, because we know what Karjat and the land dealings is famous for. We know about the farmhouse story. We know about the perpetrators and the people who are involved in those shady dealings that happen in Karjat. Secondly, the injury marks on the body. There were injury marks on his neck, on his arms, and his chest,
Yeah.
which I think the senior inspector Kiran Sonone at that time in Oshiwara police station, he conveniently said that while taking the body of the ceiling fan, those injury marks were done. I mean,
Yeah.
is that even a relevant argument, right? To put for someone like a senior police inspector uh, who see such crimes happening on daily basis, they are saying that while taking the body there were injury marks.
Yeah.
That sort of thing just tells you that what kind of forces were behind such
Yes.
incidents, and how the state law machinery, like the law enforcement agencies, were hand in gloves with all these criminals to just like sweep such murder cases under the rug. And the I think the probably the most saddest similarity what I see is that an old father is still not getting justice. He literally had to give up on seeking justice for his son. We have Rabia ji who is still fighting, but it is a long battle. Like, it's almost 10 years now, and she is still fighting for justice. It's good that we have supported her. And after unfortunate murder of SSR, there are like more people voicing out for
Yeah.
justice. But it just to show it's just sad to see how shoddy the process is for a common man to get justice
Yeah.
in our country, and
Yeah.
that seriously calls for certain reforms which is need of the hour.
So this lady, Renu Bhargava, she is apparently related to this boy, this actor, and she says that his father settled in Ahmednagar, and they are totally, upset, and it's been a very bad period for them. And she says it's a very very sad narrative for them. Now, here, what I like to say, Saffron, I remember watching, I didn't see the film, but I saw songs of his with Sonali Bendre, and he struck one as a very smart and, handsome boy. And we were sure that, see, boys like him would do well in Bollywood. Now, anybody who comes near this Karjat, for land or whatever, is is potentially looking for trouble. And apparently this is very true, because I read some reports that there was an old man who had a house there, facing with a beautiful scenic view. And the taxi driver said that, see, this man was threatened, to give up his bungalow. And so that man was forced to give up his Bangalore. So you know what kind of mafia tactics is behind this. And we also read reports about how, the another person who was in America, we had interviewed him in our channel as well, a jeweler from an Indian jeweler from who had come back from America, wanted to settle down in India, and how he was harassed, and how gates were appearing all over. So apparently, see, whenever these deaths come, they move around the same people, don't they?
Absolutely, ma'am. One thing which is very interesting to see here is the way in which the chain of events happened. Right from the time when Kunal Singh did that very famous movie, I think it was Kadalar Deenam
Yeah.
in 1999, and then
Yes.
Dil Hi Dil Mein came, which was like partly a remake of that movie.
Yeah.
It was a super hit movie. And
Yeah.
you have to remember that that was the year of 1999 2000. It was the dot com boom, and
Yeah.
the very concept of love on internet was something that was
Yeah.
that piqued interest of masses.
Yes.
And this guy had delivered a big hit at that
Yeah.
time. Now, one interesting thing to see is that what all other, like, these A-lister Bollywoodian actors, like
Mm.
our Mr. Very Dabang, our
Yeah.
Mr.
Yeah.
Dabang, he
Mm.
was involved in certain films like
Mm.
Hum Dil De Chuke Sanam and Hum Saath Saath Hai, and few other super hit films. Now, this Mr. Dabang is known to be a very, very insecure guy.
Mm.
He is known to keep eyes on all of these newcomers who are coming into the industry and somehow getting their first break. And if
Mm.
that break happens to be a home run, then this guy gets insecure.
Yeah.
Since then, I think, there were certain attempts to ensure that this guy, Kunal Singh, was a
Mm.
brilliant, very talented actor.
Mm.
I remember seeing that movie. I was in
Mm.
my teens, and
Yeah. Yeah.
I was absolutely like, I absolutely enjoyed that movie.
Mm.
So I remember that, like, that this guy was nowhere to be seen after the movie. So
Yeah.
what
Yeah.
happened to him after delivering a super hit movie?
Yeah.
We can talk about, like, in the past 10 years, we understand that, like, social media, OTT platforms have come into existence. So it is difficult for this cabal
Mm.
to restrict the newcomers,
Yeah.
I mean, like, they're still very powerful, but it is getting a little difficult for them.
Mm.
But back in those early 2000, 1999, 2000,
Mm.
I mean, the only way for you to become a super hit actor was to deliver good results in multiplexes, in theaters, to give good movies, to give good returns to your producers and distributors and all the
Yeah.
people who are involved in the chain of filmmaking. So what happened with Kunal Singh, that after 2000 to 2008, when he was killed, in that span of 8 years, why he was not seen in any major Hindi films, why he was not part of any Hindi films which delivered big hits. I don't remember seeing him.
Yeah.
So that is one thing where I feel like, efforts were being made to sabotage his career, to corner him, just like they were made in SSR's case. Although I think for SSR it was getting a little difficult because SSR was had tremendous popularity. And one other thing, like, that the common people like us, which we did not see through at that point of time, was that, like, we didn't know the modus operandi of this cabal,
Mm.
which has been functioning since which has been functioning the same way ever since the death of, like, Parvin Babi, and who knows, even before that. I don't know, like, how many people they have killed, and how many people they have killed in the name of suicide, or depression, under the garb of depression. So all these things are very disturbing.
Yeah. Here, Saffron, see, one thing I wanted to, say is that how easily these people say that this girl, Lavina, says that she just went inside into the washroom for 10 minutes. And it is during that time that he was killed. Now, if you look at Sri Devi case, it's exactly the same. They say that Boni Kapoor was watching cricket when Sri Devi went into the bathroom and she drowned in the bathtub. Now, who do they expect will believe such stories? Now, what the father said would have been very truth. She would have been threatened. Okay, and this also, Saffron, is very similar to what happened to Siddharth Shukla. Okay, Siddharth Shukla was with this girl, forget her name. She with her, and apparently he died, on in her lap. Now her father tried to say that no, no, she was at a shooting, but the fact was that she was there in the bedroom with him. Now, again here, this girl, is supposed to be like a, more like she was more like a wife to uh, Siddharth Shukla. And, when they say that these things happen in front of their eyes, it's unbelievable how they kept quiet. So these women are asked to keep quiet. when the murder happens? What do you think
Ma'am,
happens
first of all,
behind
I was happy
behind
to
these
see that.
words?
First of all, I was happy to see that you forgot her name because I don't think such characters are worth remembering, anyways.
Exactly.
Secondly, I would say
The Katrina Kaif of Punjab.
exactly. Well, that's a new thing. I didn't know about
Yeah.
that. But but jokes apart, I think these people are not only made to keep quiet, but I feel that they are somehow planted in the lives of these outsiders. I will call things for what they are,
Yeah.
because if any common guy who is not from a family background, or he's from a different
Yeah.
uh, state, comes to
Yeah.
Mumbai and tries to make his career, they are cornered. They
Yeah.
are made to behave in a certain way, and a plot is led. There will be
Yeah.
a girl who will be planted in their life. She
Yeah.
will come as a potential uh, you know
Mm.
uh, damsel in distress who might seek help of this actor, and then there will be like love will blossom, and then they will show up in a movie together, and then suddenly uh, there is an there is a suicide.
Yeah.
There are theories of depression floating, and same happened in Kunal Singh's case. Although I would very categorically I would mention that Kunal Singh was married with his wife, and he was very happy. He had kids as well, and it is
So
just sad
this
that
is where this is where they're trying to build a narrative, saying that see she went off to Ahmednagar because there was apparently some fight between him and her, and it's because of this discord that Lavina stepped in. Now Renu here says he got married young too to an army general's daughter, and as you say, the marriage was fine. So they just try to build narratives to show that he had a reason to commit suicide.
absolutely, ma'am. And if you see, then at that time his wife was not there, and she was somewhere out of town, or I think in Ahmednagar. And this guy, Kunal, was in his flat. Now, tell me one thing, that in those 10 minutes where like Lavina Bhatia was there, she went to the bathroom, and Kunal found a rope, he hung it on the ceiling
Measured the
fan.
distance between the chair and the fan.
Exactly,
Mm,
exactly. So
mm.
all these things, they are very suspicious. And it was, I think the date was February 6th,
Yeah.
2008. On
Mm,
February 13th, one week
mm,
before his movie was about to release,
mm.
it is said that he committed suicide. Why would he commit a suicide when he has a movie launch next week?
Yeah, a
He
yogi. Yes, the movie was
Exactly, and
Yogi.
he was
Yeah.
very excited about
Mm,
that film, about the launch of that
mm.
film. So I I mean, at that time when I heard about it, I was shocked, but I knew that something was fishy. There just can't be a situation where he would just commit suicide. But obviously didn't have that much exposure to how this cabal works, and we were also busy in our own lives, so wasn't able to dwell my thoughts on it. But now, ever since after Jia Khan's murder and SSR's murder, I think the picture has been a lot clearer than it
Yeah.
could ever have been.
Yes, very much. In fact, what Karthik is saying is that strangely, Kunal did a film with actress Simran's sister, Monal. Monal also was found to have died allegedly by suicide. Now, Simran was one of the top actresses in Tamil films, and this is also very strange. If her sister acted with him, and she also is supposed to have committed suicide, there's something much more to this. This boy was a bigger threat to all these people than we could ever contemplate.
Ma'am, see, the
Okay,
problem,
here,
what
Safran, a little bit, could you speak in Hindi? Anupama is just saying that, could you speak in Hindi as well? If you can just talk a little bit about what we spoke.
okay, I
Yeah.
see. Well, she constructed a perfectly fine statement in English, but I will try in Hindi now. Yeah. So, मुझे लगता है कि
Oh, that's good.
yeah, it's getting, because she suddenly got me conscious now. I usually speak in English, yeah, with you. So मुझे लगता है कि इन सब चीजों में एक बहुत बड़ा एक षड्यंत्र है, और वो षड्यंत्र जो है वो एक तरीके से डिसाइडेड है। आप जब भी मतलब कोई बाहर के कोई छोटे टाउन से कोई एक बंदा आता है या बंदी आती है, और वो व्हेन दे गो थ्रू द रैंक्स एंड दे गो ऑन द टॉप, आपको है ना एक तरीके से मैनिपुलेट किया जाता है। अब उसमें आपको किसी तरीके से वो अटैक करने की कोशिश करेंगे या फिर आपको पार्टीज में बुलाएंगे, आपको ड्रग्स चीजों
हाँ,
ड्रग्स,
कॉम्प्रोमाइज।
हाँ ऐसे कुछ करेंगे, आपको कहीं एक ऐसे आपसे कोई ऐसे गलत काम करवाएंगे वो
हाँ,
नशे में, और फिर वंस दे हैव समथिंग ऑन यू, जब
उसका
उनके
फायदा
पास
उठाएंगे।
एविडेंस आ जाता है तो
हम्म,
फिर वो आपको ब्लैकमेल करेंगे कि
हाँ,
आप हमारे हिसाब से आप काम करें। अब इसमें होता क्या है कि वो देखते हैं कि आपकी सिचुएशन कैसी है, आपकी पर्सनल सिचुएशन कैसी
हम्म,
है। इफ यू आर मैरिड,
हम्म,
राइट, then they will try to push narratives like, oh, this guy was having some other relationship, some other woman on the side, and there were marriage problems, marital problems, or this person was having depression because his wife left him, and falana dhimkana, ये टाइप की चीजें जो है ये बोली जाती है। So the long and the short end of what I'm trying to say is that in every other case, they do come up with certain narratives. And why this narrative is built, why these people are killed. My personal opinion is that these beautiful souls who got murdered, they confided in some of their friends what they think about certain things. And
yes,
when that friend rats out on them, snitches on them, and tells the cabal about all these things, that, like, hey, you know what? I want to get in your good books. I have some information for you. Kunal Singh has been talking this about you, or SSR has been talking stuff about you. That's when they think that, oh, okay, you get your money and you get whatever perks that you expected, and then the cabal decides how they are going to sabotage this person, and how
yeah,
they are going to create a narrative of yet another suicidal death, yet another body sent to Cooper Hospital, yet another shoddy investigation by Mumbai police, yet another grieving parent fighting for the justice of their offspring, and
yeah,
that's the vicious cycle continues to go on.
yeah, exactly. So here, this we also noticed in the case of when Aishwarya was in love with love. I mean, love, the word doesn't exist in Bollywood. These are all convenient contractual weddings and engagements. When she had this thing with Salman, also when she broke up, he tried different things with Vivek Oberoi. You know, and we have seen his violent side there also. And then after that was, I think she had another uh, who was another she had another boyfriend. That boyfriend was also, in trouble. So here, what the message that they're giving, this cabal is giving, that you cannot do as you wish in Bollywood, because we control the whole scenario. We will decide which actor will be on top, which movie will be a hit, and which movie, will plummet anybody into fame. So these things are very clearly decided. So it's like, if in Bollywood they are the gods, you know. So if you look at everybody, Nafisa Joseph, you see Nafisa Joseph, I know Saffron, because see, when I was in my mother's flat, when my mother lived in apartments, this she was a small girl, about around 12 or 13 years old, and she would come and weigh herself, every time she used to come to my mom's house to check whether she's the right weight. And she wanted to become a model right from the start. So when she became a model itself, she was very ambitious, and she did very well for herself. And though she broke up with the other, persons, I think it's Samir,
Gaurav Khanduja.
and Samir,
Oh, Samir. Okay.
yeah. And then she went on to a businessman who was already married, and she was going to get married to him. Everything was ready, prepared, and all that. And then something happened there, and then it was said that she committed suicide. Now, this girl, Nafisa, is not the kind of woman who would have committed suicide. Similarly, here you're talking about Kunal. He was not the type of person who would have committed suicide, because the father is very clear that he was very excited about Yogi, and he wanted to, he had discussed the songs, with the music director, and he was also producer of it. So, something very, very odd here is that, just like in the Jia Khan case, because Jia was not sort of giving in to Suraj, and what he Pancholi, and she was planning to go back to the West and try her luck there. And being a very ambitious girl, and from what her mother says about her, she was doing well in everything. So now they were going to lose a golden goose because they were milking her. And this is the same with SSR. In case of SSR, Ria and the others were milking SSR. They had
Uh,
his account number. They were taking money out of his bank even for her brother's travel and his educational needs. Yeah, Saffron.
yet another striking similarity with good souls being misused, manipulated, taken
Yes.
advantage of, and taken for a ride.
Yeah.
It's good that, ma'am, you mentioned name of Nafisa Joseph.
Yes.
I remembered, like, watching that news of her. I would say a murder. I wouldn't call it a suicide,
Yeah.
because I remember reading upon it, and there was this businessman Gautam Khanduja. She
Yeah.
was in relationship with,
Yeah.
apparently had, at least that's what from what the press has said.
Yeah.
He apparently misused some details in her diary,
Mm.
and which caused to her depression and uh, suicide, as
Yeah.
quoted by the papers. But I believe that there is a lot more to it than what meets the eyes. I believe that, like, there was a lot of blackmailing, manipulation, and harassment going on. And when ma'am, for people like them, like, who ultimately end up losing their life, there is not much of a choice, because once you are, like, blackmailed for something, once you are, like, harassed for certain things, there is no way to go, because
Yeah.
you have already invested all your energy, all your time and money, in fact, like, in building a career. And now these people, they manipulate, they conspire against you, they spread fake narratives, blinds against you, similar to what happened in SSR's case. I mean, look at this beautiful soul who came up with Kai Poche, hits like Kai Poche, Mahendra Singh Dhoni, right? He won the film best actor award, right, for
Yeah.
it. And also, even while he was going through all that, all those problems, and that manipulative lady who came into his life, Tai, he still managed to give a super hit in the form of Chichore, right?
Yeah.
So you can see how these people operate, and they make life so difficult that they literally smother you mentally, physically, and leave the parents of these beautiful souls to suffer in misery. And that has been the mechanism for a long time. What saddens me is that none of these people have gotten justice so far.
Yeah. See here, what I'd like to say is that, see, in the case of Pratyusha Banerjee, if you remember, she was acting in Ekta Kapoor serials, and she was in in an affair with a man who was quite rich, and what the modus operandi here is, Saffron, when it comes to women, when it comes to women, the boyfriend or the husband. This happened with Boni also. That's what Deepthi explained. Boni wanted her to sleep with the producer for 2 crores. Okay. Here also in Pratyusha's case, the boyfriend wanted her to sleep with a businessman, and she refused. She comes from a very good family, and again they said she committed suicide. We all know that she was killed. Okay. Same thing if you look at Divya Bharti. Now, Divya Bharti was in a relationship with a married man, Sajid Nadiadwal.
Right.
And it was said, when the whole story came out, and this was all there in Stardust as well, where they said that he wanted her to sleep with, businessmen, producers, to get them more money. And she refused. And you know that when she died, she was not a married woman. And the father was so unhappy about it that he forced Sajid Nadiadwala, that the body should be dressed as a bride, and that he should do the sort of procedure of a marriage. So you can imagine. See, what happens is when you're a woman, okay, it's not. I'm not saying that you're a weaker sex. What I'm saying is if it's a woman and these women are good, for example, like Jia or like Divya or Parveen Babi. See, these are all women with character. So what you do is you exploit them physically, and if when you reach a stage when you are fed up of them, you want to make money out of them. So it's prostitution. Okay, so they try to push them into prostitution. And if they don't do, that is the time when you know that they're going to expose the things. For example, Sri Devi was going to expose it, or Divya Bharti was going to speak about it. Jia Khan was, so many people were going to talk about it. Even Disha Salian was with SSR going to give a press conference. Okay, so the moment they knew that everything is going to be divulged, that's the time when they just get eliminate them. Now, in the case of Kunal, what would have happened was he would have had a land deal in Karjat, and something would have happened in that land deal, because this is, as you say, the land mafia, which was behind his death. So it's just like, you remember this Salman Khan's neighbor was also talking about similar things there. Something very fishy about that, and the case has become really big. It's gone to the court, and the people who interviewed also said that there were skeletons of film stars, in the land there. Now, Salman Khan is trying his best to get them to apologize and to remove the video. It's very strange that why he would be bothered if these are lies. If these are lies, if I'm telling you, Saffron, you murdered someone, if you've not murdered someone, I mean, you need not bother about it. You can just go on with your life, right? When you
Yeah,
get bothered,
if
yeah,
you have
more
if
and
you
more
have
bothered,
credible proof, right?
yeah, tell me.
Sorry, go on, ma'am. Sorry, I
Yeah.
didn't mean to
So
cut
what
you
I'm
in.
saying is, but when you get more and more heckled, that means there is something fishy, right?
Yes, ma'am. I think like sorry, I lost my chain of thoughts while I was listening to you.
Yeah,
But what I meant to say was that, like in Salman Khan's case, right? If something has happened, really happened, only then it would be justified behavior on his part to hide something. If he
true.
has nothing to hide, then why would he be affected about these things? I mean, he is a celebrity for a long time. Now he should know how things work. If it's a rumor, then let it be, right? Let the rumor take its course. But it is not a rumor because he is trying to put some efforts to stifle voices of the people who are raising it, people
Yeah,
who are talking about it, people like you, me, and several others who have
yeah,
been talking about it.
uh,
And that's where this thing comes. One thing is a fake narrative on,
yeah,
on the basis of which there is no explanation, there is
yeah,
no evidence. You will just say whatever it is that you want to say and convey a wrong message to people, just try to divert them. And the other
yeah,
thing is that you are putting out things in front of people uh, with credible evidence,
yeah,
like in form of videos, audios, or whatnot, pictures and whatnot, right? So in that sense, I feel that uh, behavior of Mr. Dabang becomes very suspicious, and it again reinforces the fact that something is happening there. दाल में कुछ तो काला है, मतलब
yeah,
करजत की जो चीजें है, इसका 2008 के कुणाल सिंह के मर्डर से भी नाम आ रहा है, सुशांत सिंह राजपूत के केस में भी नाम आया है, और पता नहीं ऐसे कितने सारे चीजों में नाम आया होगा जो हमें, मतलब जो हमने कभी ध्यान नहीं दिया या हमें पता नहीं चला, क्योंकि उसमें किसी सेलिब्रिटी की मौत नहीं हुई, उसमें किसी कॉमन इंसान की मौत हुई। तो ये सारी चीजें जो है, ये अभी लोग इसके बारे में बात करने लग गए सोशल मीडिया के आउटरीच के कारण। ये सारे जो हम एप्स जो है यूज करते हैं, डिफरेंट एप्लीकेशंस के कारण हम अपनी बात बता सकते हैं, हम ये इतने ताकतवर लोगों के ऊपर प्रेशर डाल सकते हैं। और इसीलिए ये जो ताकतवर लोग जो है, दे हैव देयर पीआर मशीनरीज।
yeah,
Why did the PR machineries become so active? Why did they come and spread their tentacles on all of these social media platforms, right? From Instagram, Twitter, and whatnot, all of these platforms, they are like flooded. आपको डाइवर्ट किया जाता है, कोई भी चीज रही तो आपको डाइवर्ट किया जाता है, या फिर कोई एक सोशल कॉज कर लेंगे ये एक्टर्स, कहीं
yeah,
1-2 करोड़ रुपए दे देंगे, किसी कैंसर इंस्टीट्यूट में जाके वहां के पेशेंट्स के साथ फोटो खिंचा लेते हैं, एंड यू थिंक दैट ओ माय गॉड ही इज माय आइडल, he does such a humanitarian work, you know they will they will be they will just wear a t-shirt of being human and do all
yeah,
these things। और आप लोग समझ बैठते हो कि नहीं यार, ये तो अच्छे इंसान है, इनके बारे में ऐसी बातें क्यों की जा रही है।
yeah,
बट द ट्रूथ is that they are trying to hide something which has been going on for eons, and I think the law enforcement agencies are hands in glove with them. To me, they are no different. The men in uniform who should be there to protect all the citizens, they are no different than the underworld men who are sitting in Dubai and wherever else from where they operate the network. To me, these people in uniform are far more dangerous. They are lapdogs of these underworld men, and they decide which case will be suicide and which case is due to depression and whatnot. But they
Yeah.
never
So
investigate.
here, yeah, exactly. What you said is so true because, see, you look at the Mansukh Hiren case, they said it was a suicide, when actually kerchiefs were stuffed into his mouth. I mean, are you going to commit suicide by putting, your kerchiefs into your mouth, and, jumping into a
Probably
river?
tie himself. His hands were tied
Yeah,
on the back.
everything was tied in. Yes, he did it all to himself. And another thing, Saffron, is that, see, when you talk about women, as I went back to the modus operandi, see, all these people, they use these women. They use these women, and then to sort of bait other men, or other, like we said, getting more money in. These same women are used. If you look at a woman like Jacqueline Fernandez, she was seen with these actors, and then they say that she was, fooled by a con man. No, she fooled the con man who was in jail. And the con man was forced to, show some selfies where he said that, no, you were very much a part of it. Okay. And then you had Nora Fateh Ali. Okay. She was also a part of it. So now you have the contract weddings of someone like Katrina Kaif, who never really loved Vicky. She was a part of the Salman group. Then after that, she was with Ranbir Kapoor, sorry, and with Neetu's son. Okay, and then she was also with somebody else, and then now she is with this guy. And if you look at the wedding, it's a contractual wedding. Now, if you look at another wedding that's happening, she's also an item girl. She's getting married today or tomorrow. Okay, and you'll the funny thing you'll find is that the groom's relatives are never called. Okay, it's only the immediate father or mother. Okay, and the rest is the cabal. Okay, and the cabal will decide which photographs need to come out and which don't need to come out. Okay, so in the case where you remember when Disha was killed, there was a birthday at a female producer's house. Okay, usually this female producer flushes each and every magazine, each and every e-paper with photographs of her birthday. But this birthday was a very silent one because that night itself, Disha Salian was killed. And Disha Salian had attended the party. So, what had happened? And had she spoken to SSR? What had she seen there? Were there some minors there who were being exploited? Okay. So, again, coming back to the fact, Sapin, they use women just to get their purpose done. And these women, for just a little bit, like today, I heard Ankita Lokande, I read Ankita Lokande's statement saying that I married this man only because he loves to party. You know, for 3 days after she got married, she partied. And that is why you marry a husband? A woman who says that she was involved with Sushant, when actually Sushant had just, dropped her. Yeah, back to you.
Ma'am, it's funny that like the things that you mentioned about this contractual marriage of Katrina Kaif, I really I'll play. Uh, I personally feel that the guy, Vicky, he has tried really hard to fit into this cabal. By doing all the things, he has
The
also tried
parties, yeah,
behaving like,
mm,
Ranveer Singh changes hairdo, did all falana dhimkana sort of stuff, and also went to the parties. Apparently, there was a video out where he allegedly looked like he was under some influence, right?
yeah,
So he has done everything to fit in. My major worry is that, tomorrow I won't be surprised if something happens to this guy. Let's say due to his
exactly.
conscience, if he does something to upset someone's apple cart, or
Yes, yes, absolutely.
it won't be long enough before he has his back against the wall and he will suffer the same fate as our beautiful SSR did. because I
Yes.
feel that somewhere he might be having some sort of conscience, and he might be knowing, but he knows that he's in a tricky situation where he
Yes.
has to comply with the cabal. It's
Yeah. Yeah.
uh, like it's my way or highway,
Yeah.
so either fall in line or fall by the wayside. So
Yeah.
that's what I feel he is in that situation, because I remember that his father is from a film background, but he is not that big of a name. So I
Yeah.
think that the cabal will still consider him as an outsider. And
Yeah.
right now, they are giving him film offers because he is approachable. He has some viewership, but he's approachable at a reasonable cost. But I feel that if he ends up becoming one of the top actors, they will make him do far more compromises than he
See
now
here,
does.
Saffron, let me interrupt you here. No, they're not going to allow him to become a great actor. Okay? You know what they're going to do? Okay? Just like these business people who are marrying these honey traps. Okay? These actors who are marrying these honey traps are just there for name. Okay? To say that they make the money when actually the money is coming through other sources. And the money is coming through other sources to induce the women to sell themselves. Okay? So the women are available. That is what they're saying with the consent of the husbands. I'm not talking about Katrina Kaif, I'm talking about generally. Okay? It's not specifically to Katrina Kaif. But what I'm saying is the modus operandi is the woman is available. Okay? And the men are the breadwinners. When actually they're just sitting and twiddling their thumbs. They are there in name only. And now see, whichever marriage that's happening now, you'll see that recently I came to know from someone that Sunil Shetty's daughter is going to get married to a cricketer who is a captain of the cricket. Okay, now why would they want a cricketer? Okay, you've heard the case of Rajiv Shukla, and Hardik Pandey and the other guy Munaf Patel. So just like the women, they are also put into situations where they are blackmailed. Okay, these men are what that lady had said, Miss Patti had said, that they were either high on drugs or drinks when all this happened, the gang rape happened. Now either they are in their senses or they're not in their senses. But those photographs which Rajiv Shukla was taking, she said, photographs and video was taken, is enough to get Hardik Pandya and Munaf to do anything what you want for the rest of their lives, right? So cricketers are taken in that. And why do they now? If you come to the question of why cricketers are used for that, it's because IPL is a den of all vices. Where you make your black money, your hawala, everything happens there. So that's why we have this connection between be it cricketers and starlets, or because they're not even less than starlets. Yeah, back to you.
Uh, Ma'am, again, it's a very interesting point that you raised. Cricketers are most of the cricketers, I would say not all, but majority of the cricketers in our country, they come from very humble backgrounds.
Yeah,
They haven't, they haven't experienced all of those luxury lifestyles and the affluent lifestyle that they do until they get to a certain point, either in an IPL team or in the national cricket team. So I feel that these cricketers, they are being manipulated, definitely. I mean, they might be having their fantasies and all of those things, but they are naive, and this cabal knows how to get hold of them. They won't approach the captain, they now right now they are so powerful that they have also approached the captain and
yeah,
got him hooked
yeah.
to, push further, anti-Hindu narrative, to push,
Kneel down for black causes.
exactly. I mean, these kind of things, you won't bat an eye for Kashmiri Pandits.
Yeah.
There, you won't bat an eye for
For what happened in Kairana.
exactly for all these things. Arey apne wo when you travel in an airplane, even there is an announcement that before putting on mask of your passenger onto your side, you should put your mask properly
Yeah,
first. These guys, they don't put their masks. They, in fact, they are having the evil mask on their
yeah.
body, on their face, where they hide all of these dirty realities that they are so hand in gloves with. And for all these cricketers, I mean, they are just naive, boys, and by the time they will realize, they are far too ahead into the game to be able to pull out, and they are just scraping the barrel. They just don't have, they may not be wanting it, but they have no option. What are they going to do? When I was proactively making videos in the year of 2020, right after Sushant's murder, there were few people from Bollywood industry who approached and said that you are doing a good job, but please, we cannot come out in the open because we have our own reasons for it. And that was the writing in the wall for me. That was a big statement coming from the Bollywood cabal itself, to say that, people like you, me, and all of these in the viewer section, and the people who are commenting, they are awakened. They are truly awakened souls, and this awakening was long pending. This
Yeah.
awakening was long pending. We remember, I always say that we cannot get justice just by placing faith in the system. The सिस्टम भी वल्नरेबल है, सिस्टम भी करप्ट है, सिस्टम के अंदर जो चलाने वाले लोग जो है, वो भी हमारी तरह है, कुछ हमारी तरह स्ट्रांग है, जैसे समीर वानखेड़े सर, और कुछ कई और लोगों की तरह वीक है, जो मूवमेंट छोड़ के चले गए, या कुछ ऐसे लोग हैं जो करप्ट लोग भी है. सो वी हैव टू बी टुगेदर, एंड वी हैव टू कीप रेजिंग द वॉइस. वी हैव टू.
Here also, Saffron, one more thing that I'd like to add here. See, because we've been studying the system so closely, you know, all these heads of these 7 production homes, okay, have a specific job. Okay. One is to groom women and men. Okay. Second is to have live shows where these groomed people are brought together like jihad, love jihad. Okay. Third is the moment they're kicked out, if they need to get money, the next stage happens. So it's like, every house has a duty to do in the cabal.
Absolutely, ma'am. Every house has a duty. One house is for honey trapping. One house, there is a medical department where they try to put you as, like, you're going through depression. Then there is a production house which has the which has the responsibility to sabotage, to lowball these newcomers, to make them to belittle them, to make them look like, you are never going to be as successful as the uh, children of the A-listers, the nepo kids, so to speak. They are isolated from all these parties. Even if they are invited to a party, it is with an agenda to get them by their balls, and, make them do certain things under influence, so that they become slaves of this cabal for the rest of their lives. They will
Yeah.
make them go to Pakistan. They will make them go to, different places, and dance in weddings of very highly influential people who have a lot of crimes like money laundering, sex, drug, human trafficking, and all of these shady crimes attested to their resume, so to speak. And just like I said, beyond the point, you just scrape the barrel. You don't like it, but there is no other option. There is absolutely no other option. The only
Yeah.
option is to commit suicide,
Yeah.
or just be in line with them, because you have no
Yeah.
support of police as well. You have no support of police. You have no support of politician. Yeah, now it seems to be changing, at least with the arrival of the current government, central
Yeah.
government. At least we are able to raise the voices. At least we are able to express. At least we are able to expose the reality of all these people who, in the name of religion, are promoting anti-Hindu bigotry, and becoming apologists of certain religion. There are good people even in faiths like Muslims and Christians, which are supporting Sanatan Dharma and are
Yeah.
vouching for it. People from countries like Bangladesh, Pakistan are also vouching for justice for SSR. I mean, I never thought that in my lifetime I would see a day when a Pakistani
Yeah.
supporter would want justice for SSR. For me, that is a big win. When people
Exactly.
look beyond religion, when
Yeah.
people respect Sanatan Dharma and its
Yeah.
beliefs and its preachings.
Yeah. See, also another thing, today we were quite surprised when Urvashi Rotela said that she has been made the ambassador for water, the water ministry, on how to conserve water. Now, very cunningly, she said that she's taken pictures in the prime minister's office when it is actually, she didn't tag the prime minister, okay, when it is actually the minister of water, Shekhawat, okay. And then I started doing a little research, and I found that in one of her tweets she said that she started an NGO with parents for water conservation. Now she would have pegged this to the minister, and the minister, looking at his age, I'm sure doesn't know who is Urvashi or who is Mauni Roy or who who is anybody in Bollywood. Anyway, so he has given her the. She says that he's given her the post. Now you remember she was also the judge in the Miss World competition, and she was standing with Sandhu also. Now another picture that I found was when she was flying to Dubai today. In the flight, she had held the flag. She had put the flag like a shawl around her, and saying Republic Day and all that. Now there is an agenda for them to push this lady, and this started with when Yogi ji wanted to have an alternative, like Bollywood in UP. And the people who went there first, it was Boni Kapoor and this girl. Now, why I would say Boni Kapoor and her is because there was a video at a party where not Boni M, Boni Kapoor actually, pats her on the back in a very sensitive area, and that's captured in the video. Okay. Now that went viral. Okay. Then we saw pictures of videos of her house in Dubai, which is shocking because the whole thing has been designed by none other than the luxury brand Versace. Okay. And then you see messages of her to cricketers, tweeting something very, very weird, you know. And then you see her self promoting herself as a judge of Miss World, and then now Miss Water Conservation Ambassador. Now, we are sure that Modi ji doesn't even know what's happening under his nose. Because just like Ekta Kapoor and Karan Johar got the Padma Shri, this girl is a favorite of Ekta Kapoor. So she has been pushed in through some source. Okay, and if they know what she represents, then they'll kick her out faster than they can. Okay, but look at the gall, of the cabal. They think they can play with public sentiments and get away with it. And see, who are they trying to push? There was an article where she said that, see, a woman's virginity is not important. Okay, this was in concern with some movie that she was doing. Okay, we have to tell the truth to Urvashi is that middle class actually value moral values, ethics, everything. All these things are very important for them. It may not be important for Bollywood, what do you call honey buns, okay, but it matters to the middle classes. So please don't preach your value of ethics and all that to us. This is what I would say.
In the garb of, like, promoting freedom of expression,
Exactly.
they try to push beliefs which will somehow put Sanatan Dharma in bad light, or like they
Yes.
will say
Yes.
that, like, see, look at the millennials, like the millennials are brainwashed. I just saw
Yeah.
one of the comments by someone. He was right on the money when they said that, like, the millennials are brainwashed. They
Yeah.
think that anything that is uh, uh, not Indian, like, it's supposed to be cool. Why is it like that way? That is because we have been brainwashed and trained to think that way. We have been
Yeah.
trained to think that whatever happens in the West is the thing that you need to pursue for.
Yeah.
Whatever happens, like if there are drug parties in West, oh, there are rave parties, oh, there is this
Yeah.
concept of it, we should do it so we can become like them. The majority of the, like, I would say, middle class, or even in the upper middle class or affluent class, so to speak, they are kind of like, brainwashed to adopt all this filth of
Yeah.
West. And
Yeah.
there are a lot of people who are pushing in money in the form of NGOs now. it's an unfortunate situation that our SSR movement has been also promoted, like infiltrated by certain dangerous elements, those who own NGOs, those who
Yes.
want to seek funding in the name of creating an event for SSR. He has
Oh,
poor
in fact,
father.
you remember that lady even said that she's going to give an award to Samir Wankare.
Yes, yes, yes. So now, they are trying to trap this, uh, honest and upright officer like Samir Wankhede.
Yeah.
And I can only imagine, what he must be feeling when he sees that even the family is supporting such elements. But I think he doesn't worry about all these things. I think he is going to do his work, whichever department he is assigned to. And we really, respect his, valor and his brave efforts to do whatever he has done. But that being said, I feel that, that it is very easy to brainwash people. And I think,
Mm.
media has played a very big role in it. Now I'm
Yeah.
seeing that there is a certain YouTuber, like a media journalist who become a YouTuber, who has also started calling this NGO owner Didi Didi Didi, and started inviting her on his shows. So I think that all these animals, I think the crocodiles and the elephants of this jungle, they are trying their best to make sure that they look in good picture, but they try to, I think, keep family in their clutches. Poor dad of SSR, he is nowhere to be seen. I don't know, what he must be going through. My heart goes out for dad of SSR
Yeah.
who has lost his
Absolutely.
son.
Uh, Here,
Absolutely. Yeah.
Srijana Kumar is saying, please talk about role of Dhoni in SSR case and his relationship with Bhai. Now here, Srijana, let me tell you very clearly. Dhoni and his wife were involved in land deals. Okay, and there was a case where they had, built some apartments and it was not complete, and there was a case against them as well. Okay, and in these involvements in these companies, they they had collaborated with Suraj Singh. Now, do you know who Suraj Singh? Suraj Singh is the one who went to the mortuary, who took Ria to see Sushant's body. Suraj Singh is the one who was at Cooper Hospital with Sandeep Singh. Okay, and apparently there was this guy also, the police officer, Wazir. Now, that itself will indicate what is the kind of relationship, and also the fact that Dhoni's wife has been given a lot of money to manage something in cricket in IPL in the UAE. So all these are enough hints for you to understand what is the relationship that's happening between cricketers and this cabal. Yeah, Sapton, would you like to add a note?
Yeah, I would just like to say that, it doesn't matter whether it is Dhoni or Amitabh Bachchan, how famous you are, how powerful you are. Once you get there, you are still at the bottom of the pyramid, because the people at the top of the totem pole are the politicians, and they are connected to the underworld. And from underworld, the connection is to the politicians, which is the government, and then it flows down to the law enforcement agencies, where the police, and the police controls the media channels, and the media control develops a perception for the masses, and the masses gets brainwashed, because the masses are just to the masses. हमें हमारे लिए क्या important है? हमारे लिए हमारी एक अच्छी नौकरी important है, हमारे लिए हमारे फैमिली की सेफ्टी important है, और हमारे लिए एक अच्छा फ्यूचर important है, एक अच्छा
Yeah,
घर important है, एक बंगला
absolutely.
गाड़ी, बस यही सब चीजों में हम रह जाते हैं. But when one of our offsprings thinks about making it big, when they work hard, toil they burn the midnight oil to reach where they want to reach, and once they enter into the system, they are just sabotage, just like what happened to SSR, just like what happened to uh, Jia Khan, just like what happened to Kunal Singh. Imagine Kunal
Absolutely.
Singh being alive today, and must have done so many more movies,
Movies. Yeah.
just imagine
Oh,
what his career would have been.
yeah.
You would have
Yeah.
had some other name apart from the Khans who have dominated
Exactly.
this. Why they have
Instead of
dominated?
having all these grandfathers, yeah,
Exactly.
acting.
Have you ever tried to? I ask all of these viewers here. I ask this question to them. Have you ever tried to give a thought that why only the Khans have been predominantly
Exactly.
dominating the Bollywood for so long?
Yeah.
Have a thought over this. There is an agenda. There
Yeah.
is a narrative which has been pushed not right now, but several decades ago. And there was a
Absolutely.
government which was supporting this narrative. That government supported this narrative for 70 years,
Yeah.
for 7 decades. So many people died in
Yeah.
the garb of suicide. So many people were killed. Now it's not even 10 years since this new government came, and people have started questioning them.
Yeah.
It takes, like they say, it takes a village to raise a child. I would say it takes a village to raise a country.
Yeah.
That's what I would like to say. The villages in the country, they need to come together, and the masses need to have that mentality. If
Absolutely.
we are not able to protect our dharma, no one else will. We have to
Yeah.
protect our dharma, and we have to be righteous enough to call out the anti-nationals in our country, to call out the people who are speaking against dharma but wearing saffron color. We have to call them out, but we have to stand for people like Yogi ji, people like Modi ji,
Yeah.
who are going to place Sanatan Dharma to at a global level to the place it deserves, and it's so long has to be done.
Yeah. Also, they want you to talk about the BBC event. Three people have already asked us.
Okay.
Before closing, I think, Saffron, we can just discuss this before we sign off.
Uh, BBC event. It was kind of funny when I saw that video. Definitely, it's an attempt for. So I have twofold opinion on it. Okay,
Yeah.
number one opinion is that it's BBC is anti-India. Definitely, they are. It is pushed by Bollywood to make sure that people like us are kind of put in a bad light.
Yeah.
To pressurize us. To make us look like weak. But on
Yeah.
the second hand, I feel that when I saw that clipping, I haven't seen the documentary, so my opinion is based on that 55-second
Yeah.
clipping.
Yeah.
I feel that the people who are shown there, they kind of it's kind of a gimmick,
Yeah.
and they themselves went there and got interviewed and now find themselves in hot soup. But I don't think they care that much. I think this agenda by BBC is going to fall flat. It's going to backfire them.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And if it is going to do anything else, it is going to give us more attention. They are actually promoting us than
Yeah.
rather than demotivating us. So they are
Yeah.
doing the job that we wanted to do. So they are working for us in a way, I would say.
Yeah, this is what I feel because see, in the past few months, what we notice is that there is a very leftist element to BBC, and also I would say pro jihadi. So anything is anti-Hindu, anti-India, and now if, for example, they feel that Bollywood is being bullied by YouTubers, just a handful of YouTubers, if they can bully weed, it's shocking because you existed for so many years and it took only a few people like us to bring you down. That means you were already corrupt from the beginning. There was nobody to give it back to you, to expose you. you know and the biggest exposure is Sushant's diaries. That's enough to strip you naked. Okay, so you don't need to cry and go to some international media house and say that please help us. They're not going to help you. There's a government who's working to see that who's doing crime in the country. We need to get rid of mafia, drug, everything. We need to get rid of it. So if BBC is going to protect you from that, don't think that they're going to protect you. They have absolutely no say in what happens in India.
BBC is going to protect the anti-nationals. BBC is going to protect the Khalistanis. BBC is going to protest the separatists who
Yes.
are having so much hate against Sanatan Dharma, against the Hindus. And I
Yeah.
think that BBC is can BB there have been so many channels which have come and gone. Nobody could do anything to destroy Sanatan Dharma. I
Yeah.
think that today, ma'am, before we end this, I would like to wish you and all of our viewers a very happy Republic Day. And my wishes is that we should always be proud of our roots, we should be proud of our country and our dharma, and we should have the guts to call spade a spade. No
Yeah.
mercy for Khalistanis, no mercy for anti-nationals, no mercy for Rana Ayub and her leftist gang who are trying to spew their venom in the Sanatan Dharma. The Sanatan Dharma in the end is going to prevail, and Sanatan Dharma is the eternal truth that is going to uh, get everyone together. So I wish you all a very happy Republic Day.
Yeah. So thank you, Saffron, for that. It was a wonderful session. And we look forward to seeing you again next week. And we'll discuss another issue as well, so that we slowly expose the sort of crime that's happening, not only in Bollywood and in other areas as well. Thank you, Saffron, from the viewers as well.
Thank you, Meenaji, and thank you to all of our viewers. It was great to do a session with you on Republic Day, and it's always a pleasure to read all the comments and fight together in this war of justice for SSR and others.
Thank you, and good night.
Good night, ma'am. Take care.